I I had support and education at Voltage, and Voltage has been around for a couple years, and we're growing pretty quickly. I'm going to go over a little bit about what we do and stuff, but I'm excited to just kind of get started. We've got a lot to cover, and I'm just going to all right. I'm going to assume everything's good here. So yeah, so there's a lot that we could tackle. I'm gonna do my best to kind of explain a little bit about Voltage and some of the really cool use cases for Lightning and what people are building, which I think is really, really important as we sort of bootstrap this new technology. I won't really be going over like the basics of the Lightning Network as much. But if that's something that you want to learn more about, go ahead and contact me afterwards. I'll have a slide for that at the end. So we're going to cover what's Voltage. We're going to cover some problems with commerce right now in the world, and then businesses in Voltage and the Voltage features. We're going to have a cool little demo, and then Q&A at the end. So Voltage aims to be an all-in-one solution for reliable Lightning Network infrastructure. For anybody, individuals, businesses, whoever needs reliable infrastructure. And the reason why this is important is because unlike on-chain Bitcoin, like the basic Bitcoin network, the Lightning Network has to be online. Like your node has to be online, has to be online at all times. So if you're trying to run a business using Lightning, it's risky to be using your own hardware if your power can go out, if your internet can go out, you have to deal with updates, upgrades, and all that sort of stuff. So that's one headache that Voltage takes away. We simply host your infrastructure for you and provide the support you need so you could build your business or your applications and that sort of thing. Another cool fact is that we are non-custodial. Your node is your node. We do not hold the password to your node. It is encrypted. So we don't even see who you're sending your funds to, how you're using your node or anything like that. We could see the sort of bytes of data going in and out, but we don't know what they're doing. So that's pretty cool. And then on top of Lightning nodes, which we currently have is the LND implementation Lightning node, we also have other really cool products built into it, like BTCPayServer and LNbits. So what problem are we trying to solve here? We went over it a little bit. Lightning Network must be online to function. Liquidity can be challenging. The Lightning Network uses liquidity channels, and if your liquidity isn't adequate, payments may fail. That takes a little bit of learning to understand exactly how that works. But at Voltage, we're trying to make it easier with liquidity. And then the hardware that you're running your node on may fail. We talked about that a little bit. And we also provide enterprise-grade support. So the bottom line is, because of the nature of the Lightning Network, there's sort of an infrastructure problem when it comes to enterprises or people that may not be near their infrastructure at all times. For example, if you're traveling a lot and you want to run a Lightning node, if you're on the other side of the world and the power goes out in your home, your Lightning node's no longer working. So that is not good. So the good news is that Voltage is tackling that issue. So one of the major disruptions that the Lightning Network seems to be achieving is one when it comes to payments and transferring value between parties. In the 20th century, we got things like credit cards and which were great. They took a couple decades to take off. But we're sort of entering this new epoch now, I think, and compared to what we could be using, the traditional 20th century payment rails are slow, expensive, and very inefficient. One of the big issues is businesses have to pay credit card processing fees, their point of sale processing fees. You know, if you're selling a $4 cup of coffee at the coffee shop and someone's paying with American Express, you're paying a flat cost to your point of sale, Clover or something. That could be, 30 cents, percentage possibly on top of that, plus any credit card processing fees. It's really unfortunate. And also, if privacy is a concern, privacy is absolutely compromised in the traditional system. And there's also chargeback risk, which is really, really bad if you are selling products that may, kind of be expensive, maybe over $1,000. There's a certain amount of shrinkage when it comes to chargebacks, where people will buy something and then they'll tell their credit card that they didn't actually buy it, or their credit card was stolen or something like that. And then you're out of it as a merchant. And then there's also extremely challenging international commerce, when you're dealing with multiple currencies and stuff like that. So for me personally, I like to think of Bitcoin and now the Lightning Network as money of the internet. If the internet was a country, this is the money of that country. So now on the other side, businesses that incorporate the Lightning Network, and to an extent Bitcoin in general, there's no chargeback risk. Bitcoin, using normal on-chain Bitcoin, there is a risk of double spend, which is why there's block confirmations and things like that. With the Lightning Network, though, it's instant final settlement. So once you get that little green check mark, that payment will not be reversed. It's, like I said, it was instant, global, permissionless value transfer. For example, I recently went to a conference, the Atlanta Bitcoin conference, I think back in October, and a gentleman from Germany brought in a beer, like a beer keg with a little screen on it, and it showed a Lightning invoice. And what you do is you get the cup, you put it under the tap, you scan the invoice, you pay it, and beer comes out. It's really, really cool. But what's really cool about that is if you think about how that's set up, right? It's really, really simple, but that node creating that invoice could be anywhere in the world at that time. And not only that, I actually went ahead and I took a picture of that QR code for the beer tap, and I tweeted it out. And I said, hey, can someone buy me a beer? And within 10 seconds, beer started pouring out. So someone that I don't even know who, somewhere, I don't know where, bought me a beer, essentially. So this sort of value transfer, this sort of frictionless ability has never been seen before, and we're just at the dawn of this. No middlemen stuff. This is largely peer-to-peer, so you're not going to get bank fees, credit card fees, point of sale processing charges, that sort of thing. It's pretty private compared to traditional systems. And like I said earlier, there's novel ideas that are impossible to achieve with the legacy systems, things like micropayments, ad model disruptions. You see this a lot with podcasting 2.0, if you haven't heard of that, because you can literally stream money per minute to content creators and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of really cool innovations going on with that. So we want to make it easy. So because we are technically non-custodial, we don't have a KYC process or anything, which I'll demo here in a bit. Affordable access to Lightning node hosting along with the commerce solutions. And then we have full developer features, APIs, and all kinds of stuff for those looking to build really cool projects. And then we also offer complete professional node management for enterprises. If they don't want to hire somebody or teach somebody to manage a node, we can do that for them. Cool. Let's hop into the demo here. All right, we're going to exit full screen. So here's our site, voltage.cloud. We, as you see here, kind of in the center here, it says free 7-day trial. And what that means is you get $10 of free credit just for signing up. I'll talk about how the billing works here in a sec. Lilith, is there any questions or anything so far? It's a good place to pause for now.
I don't see any in the chat.
Hey, this is Darwin. This is Darwin from Tianki.
Hi.
You mentioned that you are offering node management tool like the liquidity management. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, so we have what's called
Mm-hmm.
we have an enterprise professional node service. It's we don't have like a flat cost for that. It's really dependent on meetings with the business and seeing what their needs actually are, so we can build it out according to their needs. Like, for example, they might expect a certain amount of volume per month, that sort of thing.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Cool. Yeah, so you can go ahead and I'm just going to do this real quick, just kind of show you how fast it is. So sign up is just your email. I made a new email earlier called studiodemo1@praytime.me. Come up with a password. Go ahead and register. Password should match. Apparently I can't type. Weird. There we go. Gonna send you a little confirmation code to your email. Standard stuff. Okay, I'm gonna type that in. I'm doing it on my other monitor, so you don't see that, but and then you register. And bam, and there is your basic voltage dashboard. You'll notice a few basic things. We have some sort of we have resources at the bottom. Discord, we have a Discord. If you have any quick questions, things like that, we're always there to answer questions. Things like settings, real basic stuff like a 2FA, that sort of thing. Contact support, change your password. Billing, I won't talk about this too much, but basically we use a top-up credit system where we used to have like monthly, and we go over prices here in a sec, but it's basically whatever services you use, it ticks down per hour. So for example, a standard Lightning node is around 4 US cents per hour. So that's 0.04 of a dollar. And the reason why we switched to that is because some people only want to spool up a node maybe for a week or maybe for a day or something like that. So we don't want to charge a full month for something that people only want to use for a day. So you can add credit. We take normal Visa, whatever, but also Bitcoin. So you can add node credit, say $10, fill it up, and then it'll, Bitcoin, Lightning, or credit card. And if it ever ticks down to 0, it's not like we're going to shut you down and delete your node and do all that stuff. It just starts going into the negative, and then we just sort of start emailing you saying, hey, pay your stuff. But eventually we would shut it down, but we're not going to shut it down if it hits 0, but you will be going into the negative if you don't keep it topped up. All right, so that's kind of how billing works. Let's get into the fun stuff. Flow is sort of our proto liquidity service. It is the way that it works was Lightning Labs, which builds LND, which is the Lightning node implementation that we use at Voltage, had this sort of liquidity auction service where folks could buy channels essentially from other people on the network. And it uses a blind auction system, but unfortunately, the volume of that auction system seems to have fallen over the last year or so. So if you do buy a channel from Flow, it could take a couple days or longer to get that channel. You're still welcome to use it. It still works. But there are better, we're looking at building out better solutions for that right now. So you can just ignore that. And then we can go to nodes here. And yeah, so real simple, create a node. So we want to do a Lightning node, and we'll do a BTCPayServer also. You don't need, if you were building a Lightning node from home, you would need a core Bitcoin node. Also with LND, you need to install both of them. The way that we have it working at Voltage is we have one Bitcoin core node, and many Lightning nodes from all of our customers are talking to that core node, and that helps validate transactions when channels are closed and things like that. Very few people want their own Bitcoin core node with Voltage, but that option is there. It is fairly pricey because the Bitcoin blocks are over 500 gigabytes now, so you absolutely do not need to get this to run Lightning. A lot of people are like, oh, do I need a core node and a Lightning node to run Lightning? No, you don't. You just need the Lightning node part, and it works great. So we're going to go ahead and do that first. And then there's a couple of tiers here, light, standard, and professional. So the light node version is using Tor, and the big difference is that instead of it talking to that Bitcoin core node that we were talking about, it gets its Bitcoin base layer information in real time from the network itself. It's just constantly downloading it, but it's not really saving it. So it's a little bit less reliable in that respect. However, it's much more affordable. It's probably useful for someone who just kind of wants to play around a little bit, maybe learn a little bit, or use it strictly as a way just to make payments. Like if you want to buy gift cards or something like that. If you want to like run something for a business, I would recommend a standard node, which uses that core node as its backend, because it's just more reliable. And the professional node gives you access to ClearNet on your which is traditional IP addresses and Tor at the same time, and that is going to help stabilize your channels if you have a lot of channels, and I'm talking like 70 or higher channels. And the reason why is the more channels you have that are Tor based, Tor starts to buckle because Tor cannot send as much data as a ClearNet can. So if you get tons of Tor nodes, it starts to channels will start appearing offline when they're not. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So we got $10 of free credit. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the standard node. You could also do testnet if you want. Testnet Lightning is a little bit wonky, but if you want to use it for testing apps and not want to risk any real Bitcoin, we do have testnet also. So we'll go ahead and make a standard node. This name is the alias, if you will, of the node that the entire network will see. So you can name it, just keep that in mind. I'm still going to call it studio demo. And this password, as you can see, this is the one that we don't save. And this is the one you need to not forget. As it says, you will need it to unlock your node. Your node's seed and macarons are encrypted with this password. Losing this password means losing access to to backups, and we can't reset it. So while we can reset the Voltage account password that we made a few minutes ago, the node password is very important. Don't ever lose that password. And just again, it's saying, hey, you sure you got the right password? Because we're not going to reset it for you. That's the magic that makes us non-custodial, and therefore we don't need to do KYC stuff. So that's sort of the trade-off. And this part usually only takes 3 or 4 minutes. Or less. We're always improving, so maybe maybe it'll be less than a minute. It looks like it's going really quick, actually. All right. Wow. Our backend engineers have been working hard and making that a lot faster than it used to be. So there it is. We have our node. Yeah, so now we're in our node dashboard. Now we're still in the Voltage sort area where we're not in any of the external apps or anything. So this is, for example, I can go up here and click the nodes button. And now you'll see this. And I can make as many as I want. I can make 4 nodes, 5 nodes, 6 nodes. I can make as many as I want. This is where it'll show you, what you want to get into. So if I was running 2 nodes, I would click view on the one I wanted to see. And that view will take you here. And the unlock, this is the password that we just made. This is our node password. And I will see where, our node is fully operational. Our macaroon status is good. And there's IP whitelists. So for example, you can put your that's all that means. So it's kind of a security thing. If you only ever intend to log in from home, for example, you could do a whitelist where you put in your home public IP address, and that way if your password is compromised, they also need to be on your home IP address to get into your node. You can use a VPN or something for that too, if that is important. Yeah. So yeah, I don't want to get too much because we're talking more about the commerce stuff. I'm happy to come back again to talk more about liquidity or anything if that's something you guys want to talk about. But we can request a channel from one of the big voltage nodes. We have a cluster of pretty large nodes. And what that's going to do is it's basically going to trigger channel open from one of our nodes. So if your node does not have any channels open to the network, it's essentially a little island. It's not getting any data from the rest of the network. So by us providing a free channel, it helps sort of bootstrap that initial connection to the network. So feel free to go ahead and click that. I'm not going to click that in this case because we're just doing the demo. And then we have a little button here that says learn more about inbound liquidity. So if you don't fully understand how that works, you can go there. Cool. So there's a lot of stuff here. One of the first things you're probably going to want to do is click show here and write down your seed phrase. It's just like a Bitcoin seed phrase, but if for any reason voltage just disappears off the face of the planet, that's what you'll need to recover your funds. So you can go ahead and write that down. And then there was something else I was thinking. Anyway, it's fine. Yeah. So this left side is going to be your main navigation on your voltage dashboard. So just, I guess, real quick, you can export logs, channel backups, things like that straight from your node here. The connect area is pretty cool. This is instructions on how to connect external applications to your voltage node. There's a lot of really cool things out there that use Lightning nodes as backends. For example, Zeus, which is a mobile app, you can connect it to your voltage node, and now you essentially have your node management on your mobile phone, which is really fun. So feel free to go through that and learn about these tools if you get into it. This is just standard node stuff. I'm not going to go too into detail on this. We have a documents area that explains pretty much all of this. And then settings, you could set a color and do various other settings, webhooks, etc. Feel free to hop into Discord if you're, we have explanations here on the side, but if something doesn't make sense, feel free to hop in and ask questions. And then dashboards. This is where you're going to find access to ThunderHub and LNbits. ThunderHub is where most people are going to be spending their time looking at balances and opening and closing channels. So we're going to go ahead and create a dashboard here, and it's going to take another couple seconds to provision. We don't have the ThunderHubs running perpetually. They self-delete after 60 minutes of inactivity or 6 hours. So don't save the endpoint because it's going to change every time you go to it. And that's just to alleviate data usage on our servers. And then I'm gonna go ahead and create an LNbits dashboard also. So I'm gonna LNbits though will always won't delete itself. LNbits stays. So you just have to create that once and it'll go ahead and do that. Cool. So now we can go ahead and click launch dashboard. Takes us to a login screen. This login password is the exact same as your node password, the one that we don't save. And again, this is a lot of information. I'm just kind of giving you guys a brief overview. All of our docs and stuff are really, really good at explaining how to do these things. So, and then, like I said, we have the Discord. So, so this is where you're going to do a lot of your node management. There are, if you're really into like command line, API calls, making your own scripts, that sort of thing, you could do all that also. This is just sort of the for those that don't do that. So this is a brand new node, so you don't see any balances here or anything. So I'm going to tab over to a node that does have balances and stuff. So one thing to let's see, it's 10 o'clock. Okay, so I got about 15 minutes. So I won't go over to this too much, but definitely go to the ThunderHub guides. It's pretty simple. You have your on-chain area and your lightning area where you can send and receive. Obviously, the lightning bolts are lightning, and this little anchor is on-chain. It has your public key. This is what you would share with others if you want them to open up a channel with you. And
yeah, hey Nate.
Yeah.
Hi, yeah, this is Darwin. So I saw in your, and sorry because I interrupt you, but
no, it's
I
okay.
leave soon because I have another meeting. But I saw in your blogs, in your blog, that you guys have a program for a startup, something like that. Can you give us more information so all these startup can we apply, or how?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can do that real quick. Give me 2 seconds here. It's essentially, we want to help facilitate really good ideas and help sponsor really good ideas and even help fund really good ideas. So we do have a startup program. Let me see here. But yeah, there is a blog for that. Here it is. So it's voltage.cloud/ startup-program. So go ahead and you can go ahead and go to that. We're giving out money, got support, and then basically just fill out this little form, tell us what you're building, and we'll arrange a call with you and discuss it, and maybe you'll get some money. So pretty straightforward. We're always listening to ideas. I think we're sponsoring 5 or 6 projects right now. I don't have them off the top of my head though. But yeah, so that's how that works. If there's any other specific question about it, I can try to answer. But I'm not actively participating in this managing this program though.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, thank you. I'll have a look.
Cool. Very cool. All right, let's get into BTCPayServer, because that was the whole point of this, sort of. So all right, great. Let's start a store, right? So we go back to our nodes area. We can hit create new. We'll do BTCPayServer this time. This is about $0.01 an hour to do. So we'll hit create. We'll name our store again. I'll just name it Studio Demo. The world will not see this store name. This is just for your own organization. And then you'll see enable lightning. And this is auto checked because it's detecting that we already started a lightning node. You can make the BTCPayServer first and then do a lightning node, or in this case, we did lightning node first and then BTCPay. It's up to you. You can do it either way, but it's already auto saying, hey, we can connect to Studio Demo right away. And it's like, cool, let's do that. We'll do the password here. I'm gonna get everything sort of accelerated here. I knew this would happen. So it's going to give you your info here now. So URL, so we'll just throw the URL in, and then our username will be our email, and then it's going to give us a specific BTCPay password. This is just going to be a bunch of gibberish, so you just throw it in there, and you can access that at any time from the voltage area, from the BTCPay area, which is right here. And then this is a BTCPayServer backend. As you can see, we already have lightning enabled here. We can also add on-chain as an option. And then from here, you can decide 2 things. You can have your sort of commerce solution built straight into BTCPayServer, or you can link it up to stuff like WooCommerce or Shopify and those services also. You could do that by clicking settings, and then there's like Shopify plugins and things like that. And here's some more integrations: Magento, Drupal, PrestaShop. So you can check that out. If you run into any issues, I just want to reiterate, like, please come to our Discord and talk to us. voltage.cloud/Discord. I'll have that link here at the end. And then apps. So you can make point of sales, you can make crowd funds, all kinds of fun stuff. I'm going to jump over to one of my BTC Pay servers that has actual stuff going on it. Just so I can show you like what it looks like when you're getting a when you have like a shop and stuff. So yeah, let's do this one. Yeah. Yeah, so I recently so I run the North Houston Bitcoin Club down here in Texas, and I recently did a crowdfund where it was I'd like a crowdfund to help me pay for my meetup.com costs, right? So we did a crowdfund, which you just get this link at the top, and we have our workshop number 2 on the Voltage Cloud YouTube channel goes over how to do this. If you're curious, so please go to our YouTube channel. But essentially you could just donate, really easy. There's email, so if you want to collect email from somebody from who's paying, and then invoice, Lightning Network invoice comes. So BTCPayServer has tons of so you don't have to like build it within BTC Pay, because BTC Pay also has a full API setup. So you can customize how you want to build it into your website. You can do like paywalls, that sort of thing. And yeah, and what's really, really cool about BTC Pay also is that it's fully open source and free, like free development. Like, it's not a company, it doesn't hold any money. It is simply a way to organize the way your node is interacting with your customers or whoever you want to interact with. So it's really, really important to say, it's not like somebody is paying BTC Pay and then you're seeing, oh, I got some money, but they're actually holding it, or they even have the possibility of holding it. It's strictly peer-to-peer, goes directly to you, or whoever you're paying. I helped somebody in the Philippines who makes like silk pants, like pajama pants or something, and he got set up with this and is now accepting Bitcoin worldwide, so he could ship stuff internationally really easy, just like stuff like that, because it's censorship resistant, which is amazing. Let's go back to the slides here. I want to show you guys a couple of things. So we do have a couple of big name customers. We have a lot more than this, but some of you might have heard of Thunder Games or Amboss.space or Swan Bitcoin. They are actively Voltage customers right now, or Custodia Bank, and we're working with many more. They're all quite happy. I do have a fun little video also I want to share. Just give me 2 seconds here. Yeah, we got time. Don't worry, I'm going to share again here in 2 seconds. I just need to bring this up. It won't take long.
You want to build?
Okay. Go back to. All right. Let me know if you can't hear this, but I'm just going to play it. So this is some devs in Austin, Texas, talking on their PBS podcast.
For your hackathon project and build it on Voltage, which I would highly recommend, because voltage just works. I just love using it. It's just a node I don't have to think about. It just sits there in the ether, always online, forwarding payments, paying invoices, receiving funds. It's great.
Yeah, I'm becoming more and more bullish on voltage the more that I use it. It's one of the main reasons that it's, you know, viable to kind of just make a Lightning app in the same way that you would just make a to-do list app. Like,
Yeah.
we're getting that same level, and voltage is a huge part of it. I mean, you spin it up in 5 minutes. You got the node with all your full capabilities with REST interface.
Okay, so I just wanted to share that. I just thought that was a cool shout out. I hope you guys heard that. Did you guys hear that? Okay. Okay, cool. And there's another thing I want to bring up. We're constantly building. We're building this new proprietary analytics tool called Surge. And if you'd like, you go to voltage.cloud/surge and join our waitlist. We're in sort of alpha testing right now, but the point is to provide historical data regarding your node and your peers' performances. A lot of the current interface solutions, they give you information, what's happening right now, but there's nothing really that gives you sort of historical information. So maybe if you go away for a week, you don't know, you want to know if one of your channels is like offline for 30 minutes every few hours or something like that. Just as an example. So if you're curious in that, voltage.cloud/surge, and you can join up. And yeah, I guess I kind of rushed there near the end, but there's our contact info. And for you guys, if you want another $10, the coupon code studio, you can just go into your building area on Voltage and use studio for another $10 of credit to get started. But
Nate, can I ask you
yeah.
to share those links in the chat, please? The one for the Discord, the site, and the
Yeah.
coupon. That would help a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, I feel like I kind of rushed near the end there. Is there anything that I missed? I'm happy to go back to. For me personally, I don't like it when it's like 15 minutes of Q&A and then there's like 2 minutes of Q&A. I'm like, what happened? So, but yeah, there it is in the chat. Yeah, and I sent, I think you probably have a list of everybody here, Lilith, so you guys will be receiving a really, really cool sheet with just links of resources of all kinds to get going.
By the way, it's right here in the chat. So the link that I've
Okay.
shared, the last one, is the resources. I've also put my email, folks. If there are any questions in regards to resources or anything that's missing, just let me know. Me or Nate will be happy to help. And yeah, let's get to the questions. We actually need to have one from the audience, from the live audience. Let's listen. We have also some mic equipment here. Let's get.
Thanks for the presentation.
Ooh, it's a little bit hard to hear.
Wait. Data Ranjat. Here we go.
Okay. So, hey, Nate. First of all, thanks for the presentation. My question is, I'm totally new to Bitcoin ecosystem and Bitcoin infrastructure, but I'm very interested in the ordinals concept. My question is, can I use Voltage, some of your nodes, to send ordinals from my Bitcoin wallet to some other Bitcoin wallet?
Yeah, so that's an interesting question. So ordinals, for those that don't know, is this serial code that Casey Rotemer created to basically in a sort of a separate sort of database serialize all the Satoshis, and Satoshis are 1/100 millionth of a Bitcoin. So yeah, so and then people are inscribing what's called inscription on the Bitcoin blockchain. So that's not really a Lightning thing, is kind of what I'm getting at. There is a project called Taro that Lightning Labs is working on that might have similar properties as that, and that is more Lightning focused. That's currently in alpha testing right now also though. So at Voltage, so if you want to get into ordinals, it's probably better to run a Bitcoin Core node on a Raspberry Pi or something at home, and then just install the ordinal software on there, and then you can have the wallet. It's all command line based right now. It's still very early for that, but that's kind of where we're at on that.
Okay, cool. I turned on. You can use just mic and it will work.
Sorry, just one more question then.
Sure.
But I saw that you have Bitcoin Core nodes too, right? And as I got it, it's possible to pay for it like pay per hour, right? So is it possible to rent your Bitcoin Core node for several hours when I need to send ordinals to some other wallet?
No, I'm sorry. We don't really have that function right now. Like the yeah, we only really deploy those. Yeah, sorry, I guess. Yeah, we just can't do that right now.
And just to clarify, you told that there's another project that can be used for these purposes. It is called Coral, right? You call it.
Yeah, here I'll get you a link to that to look into. I put it in the chat there.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's basically like minting assets, just with it's just a different protocol, but that'll be more Lightning native though. Oh, we didn't even get into LNbits. Dang, that's okay. In the resources page, there's actually a really cool it's like a project that we built. So for you devs out there, you can go to our Replit page for it. And basically we created it's sort of a clone of what somebody already did, but there was this, when the Light Network came out, there was something called Satoshi's Place. And basically it's a big like canvas and you draw on it. And then for every pixel, it's a Satoshi. So you draw on it, you hit OK, and then it generates an invoice based on how many pixels you drew. And then you pay that invoice and then it plasters it on the canvas. So people are just constantly drawing and stuff. So we basically created a clone of that to show you how you can make something similar using LNbits. So for you devs out there that want to see how those webhooks work, I recommend checking that out. And then you can sort of get creative and make your own projects using that, because the idea of just paying like a micro invoice to do things on the internet, you can get really creative with it. So feel free to check that out. But yeah, we're still a little bit early. So I mean, if there's no other questions, I mean, I can show you guys some other stuff.
Yeah, if no questions,
Yeah.
maybe let's get into stuff that we didn't have time to.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so let's go back here. We'll go back to nodes. We'll go back to our Lightning node. Put our password in again. We'll go back to dashboards. And now we're going to bring up our LNbits. So I'm going to launch that. This password is also your node password. Now, what's important is on BTCPayServer and on LNbits is these URLs are totally unique. So if you make a point of sale or something like that, all you have to do is save this URL and give it to whoever you want, and they'll be able to see it. So that way there, you don't have to log in and do all this stuff. It's all in the URL, as it says right here. Because yeah, so you can, so what happens is, I'm basically the key concept of LNbits is that you're running a node with like tons of channels, maybe a lot of Bitcoin in those channels. How do you like use that in a service where folks are want to I don't know, get involved without having to start their node? So with LNbits, you can make wallets, and those wallets are essentially custodial-ish. So if I create an invoice for 100 sats here, and if I pay this, it's going to show LNbits wallet 100 sats. But what's actually happening is I'm paying the main node, and the main node's balance might be millions of sats, but it'll go up by 100. But in this specific wallet, it's only going to show 100 sats because this is sort of a side wallet. And you can make multiple side wallets for people. So for example, you can make a website where say, I mean, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like a YouTube clone, sort of like video hosting. And every person that logs in, on the back end, you can create an LNbits wallet for them, and they could top it up. So, you know, create invoice, they top it up. And now when they watch videos, maybe the creator is charging 100 sats per minute or something like that, and that could be deducted. So all this stuff can be built in a back-end project like that. And so there's a bunch of, you know, there's API info here on the side. They put it like right in front of you. So if you want to try to build that. And there's also a lot of extensions. This is where it gets really fun, and I recommend kind of playing with it. You got stuff like Discord bots. You could do NFC cards, live stream stuff. There's an LN URL device. So this is actually really interesting. So the Lightning Network uses invoices, which are like pull payments. So for me to pay for something in Lightning, the person receiving it has to generate an invoice for me to pay, right? So that's a pull payment. Unlike Bitcoin, normal Bitcoin, it's like an address. So that's just, I'm pushing funds to the address rather than the receiver pulling it from using an invoice. But LNURL makes it a push system. So with LNURL, you could essentially receive funds offline sometimes in specific circumstances. So it's something worth checking out. Make a little, there's Nostra on there for those that have used Nostra yet. Nostra is really, really cool. It's like a decentralized Twitter system. Paywalls for websites. So if you have an article, you want someone to pay before they read it, you could put that on, and you just got to click enable, and then it'll just kind of show up. So like, for example, if I want to do, what do I do? POS, I can just hit enable, and now over here on extensions, it's right there. So I can click that. I can make a new POS. I can name it. What wallet is it feeding from? You know, from LNbits. Now you get, and remember, this is all getting its information from your core Lightning node, right? This is just like another app on top of that. So it's like apps within apps within apps. Anyway, you could create a point of sale. Here, I'll do it real quick here. Yeah, name point of sale, and you create point of sales within BTC Pay also. So there's like options. People like prefer certain things. We just have those options. So we just created this point of sale, and then we just kind of click this little icon. I'm going to zoom in here. This little arrow square thing. If we click that, here we are, right? And now I can give this link to somebody who's manning my taco stand or something. And all they got to do is go to that bookmark it on their phone. Now they could say, oh, okay, it's, you know, $2.55 for a taco. Boom. And you want to leave a tip? No, thanks. You know, you could hand it off to somebody. Boom. You know, you get your taco. So yeah, so it says advanced or as complex as you want it to be. You can kind of customize it. It's pretty cool. So, and that's free with every voltage node to play around with. Definitely get in there and try it out. Like, you get $10 of free credit just for signing up. So there's really nothing to lose by making an account and trying it out. Any questions on that? You could sell subdomains of your domains. You can do all kinds of stuff. I-
Okay,
I-
Nate, seems
Go
like
ahead.
you covered it all. So seems there are no questions.
I hope so. I hope so. Like, there's so much more detail about a lot of this, but I think this was like an okay overview. And I guess to just take away, I think just get in there and try it out. Really, yeah. I've said it like 8 times now, but ask us questions. A lot of people, they really dive in and they just blast us with questions on Discord, which is really cool because everyone sees those questions and maybe they have those questions too. And it's just like a little community thing. You can email us too if you want. That's fine. But yeah, we got a lot of really cool stuff going on. Another thing too, I guess I should mention, some people, they just have a Voltage account just for BTC Pay. They don't even run a Lightning node with us. They either just accept on-chain through a Voltage hosted BTC Pay server, or they have their Lightning node at home for some reason, and they just want to connect it to a Voltage BTC Pay server. That is perfectly possible, and there's no problem at all with doing that. So I just wanted to point that out. Let's see. That's not what I wanted. Yeah, so we've got a YouTube channel, youtube.com/@voltage.cloud. We do Twitter Spaces sometimes, so you'll see some interviews on here also. We did interview with Evan from Zeus. We did one with Dusty from he works at Blockstream. He's working on some cool splicing stuff, BTC sessions. We've got some workshops in here too, if you've seen. So this workshop 3 is like how liquidity works. All these videos on here are really not overly long, filled full of information. And we have some other interviews and stuff too, but we have the Voltage platform overview. This is kind of what I presented to you guys today, sort of. And then, but workshop number 2 is the BTCPayServer one. So that one really goes into detail. It's 55 minutes long. That was put out like 4 months ago. So check that out if you have time to learn a little bit more about that. Lots of cool stuff on our YouTube channel. I had a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun. I hope you guys use that coupon code, and if it doesn't work, let me know. It should work, but I tested it earlier.
Awesome.
Please only use it once. Don't share it with.
As you say, we've shared it with everyone. Folks won't share with anyone else, so it will be internal. Folks,
Yeah.
the resources are in the channel for the live audience. We'll share that additionally. And basically that's it, Nate. So this was great. Thanks a lot. Pretty informative. Seems you covered. Yeah, we have some thank yous in the chat. Seems you covered like most of it. So there were a few questions. This was lots of fun and interesting.
Awesome.
Folks, also the session has been recorded. So if any questions, I'll also share the recording. Is that fine with you, Nate?
Yeah, please. Let's stay in touch. Let me know if anyone needs any help. I'm always glad to help.
Awesome. So yeah, we do have some thank you from Matthew from JBKS, which I don't know what's the name, but still. So great.
Yeah, I don't know where that echo is coming from, but yeah, happy to be here. Thanks, everyone.
It's actually from the in-person events.
Gotcha.
So we do have the monitor, the event, and everything in here running. That's why my coin.
Cool. All right. Yeah, thanks. And yeah, I'm always happy to come back. If you want to talk about anything specifically, just let me know.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Yeah.
Have a great one. Bye-bye.